Greetings everyone. This video, I mean, it is kind of an update video, but it's also like a mix of, I guess, not quite deck introduction, but deck showcase maybe that I want to try. So first of all, just quick info. I'm gonna show you a deck that I built but haven't tested yet, and the reason why I built it, and the thought and stuff behind it, and then also some quick stuff regarding Steel Division, but nothing major. So oh, and another thing, I guess I might as well say that right away. There won't be a lot, if any, videos, especially of war game videos, up until the ranked ladder got fixed. In the last video I said, oh shit, it's fixed, but actually it still is not fixed. There was just some sort of hiccup where I don't know, like worked for like half an hour or something, where I got that one ranked match accounted for, but the others did not, that I played earlier. So up until that is fixed, I probably won't play a lot of wargame, if at all. Maybe some friendly game here and there, but yeah, right now I'm just not playing any wargame at all. I'm mostly playing Witcher 3 again and F1 2016, but you don't care about that. You're here for wargame. So again, up until it's fixed, most likely no, or only a bit of wargame. But on Friday, because I wanted to test whether the rank data is fixed after all, which it turned out to be not, I played a game against Nicholas. It was ranked, but I didn't get the rank points. With Ansek armored, of course. Good old strat. M41 A1s, 6 of them, or 6, yeah. Ace 1's behind that, Commanders 90. You know the drill. And just, some light stuff on the flanks. Like with each game, the deck turns out to be better and better. I think part of that is that many people, I mean, I might as well talk a bit about the current meta as well. Like, or pretty much anything wargame related, really. I think a lot of people are just so focused on the super heavy meta right now that many just don't take these 4, 5, 6 stacks, well, not actual stacks, but groups or hordes of 50, 60 point tanks serious, and with a bit of smoke you can really endanger heavy tanks a lot. So even though, me myself included, I'm not gonna I'm not trying to sound like a hypocrite, but I myself as well was like of the opinion that, go super heavy or go home. Well, obviously not on every map, but on a lot of maps. But I think, especially with the right smoke play, you can really do without a super heavy, and also without heavy tanks in general. Which is also what the deck is based around that I want to show you. So yeah, I had this match here against Commonwealth. He had Miggers in the mid, which is like probably the best thing you can do against my deck in the opener. But the Milan ones are just, I don't want to say they're good, but I think in 1 versus 1 they can be really nice because they are so plentiful and so cheap. Which is also the reason why the drugs, Yugoslav drugs, are so good, because they're so cheap and so plentiful. You can stick them everywhere, and if you throw a lot of shit at the fan, some stuff is gonna hit eventually. So that's like the general gist of it. And against the Vickers shit and stuff like that, it worked out pretty well. Killed the Stormer here, like the AA Stormer, the 75 point or 70, I don't remember, units. So they've been definitely nice. Nothing going on the right, but here on the left, of course. And these 2 MGs, MG boxes are also very nice, obviously. And just fast moving shit, making good use of the stabilizer. Milan one's doing some really nice work here. I mean, I obviously lost that position here, but it wasn't a huge problem. I killed a lot of his stuff. Most of the stuff he had left was infantry, which is fairly immobile. Gonna try to rescue those Milan ones, just because they have high veterancy. Just being very aggressive with the Leopard ones, but as always, just try to keep them in 3 or 4 stacks. Don't send them out on their own or in 2 stacks there. They just get picked up one by 80, 90 point tanks. Yeah. And also manpads help a lot against like lynxes and shit, because you can spread them out a lot, and due to their stealth and in forests, they tend to be fairly efficient counters to that. Chief Mark 5 stand no chance, and with poor optics they don't even spot the leopard ones when they get shot at. Challenger 1 Mark 3 here now. Obviously a big problem. And I will lose a good amount of troops to that, if I remember correctly. Or yeah, I was wondering because there used to be 4 leopards, but I moved 2 there, so I can have them as fire support when moving into this town here. I know there's units in there and most likely a recon because the leopard ace-1 is spotted. Whenever your unit is in a forest and it's spotted, you know there must be units nearby. That's also, I mean, I saw them moving in here, but that's also a reason why I know exactly there are still commandos in there because the M113 here is spotted. A general chest of it, just by commandos and lots of leopard ace-1 pluses, you know the drill by now. Now he's trying to move in here. This is pretty potent because on short range the T8 495s are actually really big threats to my leopard ace-1s. They only have 8 armor and especially only 3 side armor. So on close range these can be very dangerous. But at the same time on close range I can one-shot them, so I have to be careful. Now try to smoke off the Challenger 1. Try to get close range engagements. Maybe side shot them with my leopard ones. 2 here, then you know 1 or 2 might just get some side shots and kill it. Here I killed the Highlanders. They were unloading outside of the town, so I knew they were dead. Just fast moving the leopard ace-1. Try to get into the forest and try to force the Challenger 1 to be in a weird position where I can nearly guarantee a side shot. And the aviary obviously not big of stands no chance here. Here's the Challenger. Although it shoots at the, I think it was this M113. It shot at something and then it came out of the smoke. Leopard ace-1s just double tapped it and down to 1 HP. Got a nice crit. And even finishes it off. Now I got into this forest and this is like pretty much game over. And even this Challenger 1, which apparently got a lucky side shot with the Scorpion 90s. Can't do anything. I think I didn't realize it was only at 1 HP. If I would, then I would have just moved the leopard ones out of there, but I tried to retreat him because I was scared that he would use the Canadian rifles as a meat shield for the T8 495 and Challenger 1 Mark 3, but this is fairly game over. He only has an SAS squad here, barely anything there, so he can't even push a 2-pointer, so yeah. And this game is, I mean, just gonna finish it, and I think, yeah, kill the 1 Mark 3 here as well. And this is the reason, this match, why... And, I mean, I really wrecked him here. Brigadier General does mean that I generally wrecked Brigadier Generals with this deck. I might have just been very lucky this game. But still. And this match was pretty much the reason for the deck I built. And that is this mixed armor deck. It basically works the same way. Where you spam 50 point tanks, have 10 point mean shields. With the difference that I have the Nanion Shiki E in here. Which you have 2 less armor, which in many cases shouldn't matter. I mean, of course, there will be the scenarios where the Nana Yonshiki will get one shot, where the Leopard Ace-1 would not have. Especially at max range, it is fairly hard or fairly difficult to one-shot a Leopard Ace-1 with anything but a Super Hemi. But at the same time, the damage output of the Nana Yonshiki is just so much higher because it fires in 3 rounds auto-loaded bursts, which have a much higher rate of fire of 10. And after these they have a longer manual reload time. But since I use them in 3, 4 or 5 stacks, if they even shoot 3, all of them shoot all the 3 shots from their magazine, I guess you could call it, then they already did a lot of work. Of course they have worse optics and worse speed, especially I think the optics shouldn't be a huge deal, but I think the speed will potentially be a big deal, and so will autonomy. I will just see how it works out. Maybe I will switch to the Leopard Ace-1 Plus again. I think those are the 2 biggest contenders for this kind of strategy. Other things I thought of was maybe the Chief Mark 10. But 65 points is already too expensive. But oh no, the Leopard C1 is actually a prototype. Okay. Other thing I thought of was maybe this one, but the range and accuracy, even though it comes on elite, range and accuracy are not that nice, but 45 points for 15 AP and 10 rounds per minute is not a bad deal if you compare to the AS1 Plus. But effectively you lose even 2 AP. If we and then of course that you have to cannot shoot at max range at the same max range as this one. So the only contenders really are the Ace 1 Plus and the 9 E, and here for the same price we just get 1 less AP. Yeah. I mean I could have also just, you know, another thing I thought of was just like Blue Dragons, basically just spam K1s on Elite, which also is a nice idea, but you know, if you look at it, the damage output is much higher on the 9 Shiki. And I mean, yeah, you have 11 more armor, that is a big deal, but I just want to try this out. And one of the big advantages over Ansec is obviously something like, oh, well, the biggest ones are probably the MX-10, so I have something fast to deal with vehicles. And the Fallschirmjäger, so I have some fast infantry. I only run 1 card though, since I want 4 cards of planes. But the rest is fairly standard. Achzachit here, Commandos 90. Right 90 in the Merkava 2A. I used to run a card of Challenger 1 Mark 1s in the tank tab, because they're obviously amazing, and so I have some sort of unit with high armor, but at the same time I thought, okay, I needed the 2 activation points because I had to get rid of something in the tank tab or somewhere else. But the Merkava 2A kinda fills the role already. I mean, it obviously can't deal with, you know, enemy Challenger 1s, but it fills the role of high armor, even if the side armor is shit. And I'm gonna try to run with that for now. Maybe I'm also trying to do something like start with 1 Merkava and 3 9 Chickies instead of the M41s. I will just see. This thing here to have some sort of ghetto wildcat, cheap recon autocannon, cheap recon tank with fire support, and the Gessel cannon, of course. I used to run also with the another card of shock recon, but can't fit it in. Also, the big advantage of the TTB is the high off-road speed. Like all other 5-pointers only have 50 kilometers per hour, but this one doesn't, which is amazing. This just is cheap base defense. M36 is not necessary since I have the M41s in the tank tab. CEV might be a good idea, or the AVRE, but I have efficient shock infantry, and again with M41 A1s I don't think I quite need it. AGM vehicles of course not really needed at all, they're just bad. I run this instead of the J-Cobra just because of the Tau. Gun and the other rocket pods are identical, and the 14 rockets generally don't make a huge difference. I don't need a high anti-tank, high capacity anti-tank helicopter. I want to have a more expensive ASF that, you know, as opposed to this, which is the mostly used ASF in 1 vs 1s for mixed blue. But the Block 52 is more expensive, but also more survivable just because of fire and forget missiles and more ECM, of course. Since I only run 1 card of ASFs, I want to have a very potent one for the price, but also decent availability, so I don't want to run 1 card of F-15C Eagles. And this is pretty much the next best ASF that you get a 2 per card with decent veterancy. Yeah. Puff also kind of somewhat ASF kind of to help the block, or the Hornet maybe even. And Kernos of course is a must-have. It's so versatile and so ridiculously strong. And yeah, Puff over something like a Prowler, even though I pretty much dislike a seat with no stealth. Puff is like one exception to that because it's so cheap and has the perfect speed and sidewinder and gun combination to deal with helicopters. In case you didn't know, the gun has the same true rate of fire as the Vulcan. So, and as you probably know, the Vulcan is the best, by far the best gun on a plane. Yeah, originally I thought about running something like the something like this on veteran, because of the cheap way to deal with helicopters. But for 20 points more, I get higher ECM and seats, so I might as well run that. And of course, Jumat Mistral, because manpads are just ridiculously effective, and since this deck is not as infantry heavy, I can afford to run both manpads and ADGM squads. Not much in the support tab. Standard mortar, cheap but high availability anti-helicopter A, and very cost efficient anti-plane AA, with the exception of 2 armor planes. So yeah, that's this deck. There were also some other things I thought of, maybe running the LRM since I have a VOB. But you know, these kinds of adjustments I may or may not make once I play some games with this deck. Maybe it's a trash deck. Maybe I just got lucky with my Anzac deck, you know. It may very well be I only played against 1 Colonel and 1 Brigadier General. Nearly all other players were pretty low ranked. So, no, we will see, we will see. I think that's all with regards to Wargame now. Steel Division. I mean, I'm just gonna repeat it here. I think I mentioned here and there maybe on stream. But in the future, I probably won't upload a lot of Steel Division. Most likely I won't go as deep into Steel Division as I am with Wargame. Just because, I mean, I'm not gonna go far into that, I just don't like it as much as Wargame, period. It may change, probably won't, but we will see. But yeah, I will maybe upload here and there, but you know, don't come to my channel if you for Steel Division if you want to see high-level gameplay. If you want to see high-level gameplay, I would suggest. Let's hope this works. I'd suggest you watch Hesco. I think he's currently the only, at least English-speaking channel which features high-level Steel Division gameplay. Firestarter so far only played like 1 match or 2. He only got the game for a few days, so I don't know how good he will be or how good he wants to be, how much he likes the game after 20, 30, 40, 50, 100 hours. And as far as I know, neither Fussel nor Tigger actually make videos, and he's pretty much or somewhat on par with Fussel, I would say. And he's just he seems to be a decent dude, so yeah. Check this guy out if you want to see some high-level Steel Division gameplay footage. Gameplay is, you know, he's a chill dude. He doesn't monetize his videos, so he really just makes it for fun, which is what I always like to see. I mean, not gonna say don't make money off YouTube videos, but some people generally do. I don't think there are any in the wargaming community, but you know, let's not get into that. I'm just a 1-year YouTuber, what am I talking about? And I think that's it. You probably don't know him already if you're if you visit the Steel Division subreddit, but you know, just in case you don't, and you are looking for someone with high level skill, high skill, who plays on a high level, you get the point. Jesus Christ, what am I talking? I think that is it. I don't know. If I forgot something, just check the sticky comment in the videos. And yeah, thank you very much for watching. Hopefully, I hope the wargame ladder gets fixed soon. And in any case, I'll see you next time.